All right, there's so much mess for us to catch up on. Let's talk about me ending the semester as a teacher of architecture at Morgan State University. I am so excited. Today is the last day of the semester at Morgan State University. I'm excited because I cannot believe that I just did this in 15 weeks. Like, it was gratifying, it was good. So this semester, I ain't gonna hold you, I was a bit nervous going into it because I wasn't sure how the semester was gonna be. I wasn't sure if the kids were gonna receive me. I wasn't sure if I was gonna enjoy being back in architecture and going back into architecture. I really wasn't sure how the semester was gonna go and if it was something that I was gonna love doing, hate doing, didn't love the time. So what I will say, so my class, junior architecture students, and the class is 60 deep. So it's a lot of students, but there's 4 professors, and then the 4 of us got split, about 15, 15, 15, 15. So each of us got 15 students, and it was very interesting. So the 4 professors. So one professor is he's the one who runs, he's the professor who's been doing the program the longest. And so he knows the curriculum inside out. The other professor, he's been doing it, a little bit as long, but he's also, to me, I think more of the senior architect. He knows more within architecture. And then the third professor, I don't know too much about him, but I do think that he comes from more the academic background. And then there's me. So, and y'all know, mine, I'm architecture turned entrepreneur. And so it was really interesting working with the other professors, figuring things out. The semester itself was okay. One of the main professor, he had a baby, and I think that kind of threw things a little bit off, just in a sense of probably like timelines, and he had more of the course workload and like sort of the course direction. And so I think that was a bit interesting, like really trying to figure out, some stuff around his absence. One of the other professors, he did a lot of stuff with the university and a lot of stuff within architecture. So he does a lot of international studies. So it pulled him away from the class a lot. And then the more senior architect person, a little bit older, but he was there a lot. So I think that the class had really a good bulk of different people, at different times doing different things. So I tried to pour into my 15 kids because that's who I would be grading at the end of the semester. That's kind of who I'm responsible for. So I would say that I think the kids, loved me, and it was really good. I think overall the semester was good. It's just that the workload is really fast paced. It's a lot of work for these kids to do in such a short period of time. And it was 15 weeks, and I won't lie, it went by super quick. Again, keeping it 100 with y'all, though I love the architecture, love the teaching. Me filming content and doing stuff, and also this being like the transition from me, from like me working full time to me not working anymore to now going back into this like education role. I did a lot of like content filming, outfits, and and I was doing that at the full-time 9 to 5 as well. So I ain't even gonna hold you, but I really just wanted to use this time to like acclimate and really figure out where I was going. I think that was like my favorite part of things, was just like getting dressed every time. And so I was teaching only on Mondays and Fridays. Classes were like 4 hours long. And, that was my only time on campus and in person. Also, we had like office hours and all that other stuff. And so, I think that I leaned more on the other professors for the education component, for the parts of it where, anything architecture, related. I leaned on the other professors just to kind of get me more up to speed. But I told the kids I'm there for like real life experience. I want to talk to y'all about life, like the mess that you need to know. That's what I'm here for. So I would say that the students really, took to me. It was a great semester. I enjoyed it. It went by quick. Me working with other professors, it's not like I had to, I think the part I love the most is that I didn't have to like do the curriculum, planned all of the, lectures and, all of that stuff was kind of laid out. So I think that that helped me to have a really good first semester. Because I think that if I had to prepare all of that stuff, it would have been really difficult for me, especially like going back into architecture from being gone for all those years. I think it would have been hard. So it was a good first semester. It didn't feel like a heavy lift with me trying to figure out so many things within my, income and trying to like replace my 6-figure income within me trying to like acclimate back into like this different like environment and space. I would say that I'm happy that it wasn't a heavy lift. It allowed me to be able to focus on other things, not just like teaching and being a professor of architecture. So, I always joke and I laugh and I say like, people, every time they see me, they're like, how is teaching? Is it amazing? Is it going good? I'm like, it's all right. Everybody's like, whoa, you're a professor now. And I'm like, all right. But I'm just grateful that it was not a heavy lift and it wasn't something that had me scrambling and feeling flustered, not sure. I had to do a couple of lectures and I'm not going to hold you. Like I was sweating because I was like, oh my gosh. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about what I taught this semester. So it was an urban planning class and it was really centered around the students going to a site, picking out, like they had a site, they had an area. So we talked about like residential mixed use, so like apartment buildings. So the students got to really learn and understand how to design for these different type of typography of, homes.
Next semester as far as community design in Baltimore. So this is on West Fayette Street in Baltimore where students toured different row homes to initially have an open access and understanding of row home design in Baltimore, and then also the construction process. Okay, the project that you're going to see today is taking that and putting it into a hypothetical site. What they've learned from designing both townhome and multifamily is going to be placed in this hypothetical site where it exists with 3 specific nodes, parks, shops, and an elementary school, and then 12 lots for each group of students to work on individually. So you're going to see a quick presentation of all 3 nodes so that you know the context, and then looking specifically at each lot. And the students were tasked with responding to the surrounding context of their nodes, developing an edge condition of their own choosing that they all agreed upon, and then actually responding not only to the nodes but also to the surrounding context of their immediate group lot adjacencies. That makes sense, okay? It's generally comprised using Revit exclusively in this course, so this is not only an option for them to learn about. Yeah, bro.
Okay.
So logistically, everybody, as you
I could move that if I got some. Okay, now I could really see the little imperfections on these models.
Listen, I'm only able to laugh because cameras and I give off
Lot 7.
Who's presenting, y'all? No presenting. Y'all just gonna do it and then I like this. Oh, I'm gonna miss myself. Are you taking my class next semester?
Yeah, Hennessy. Bro,
Are you gonna be here next semester?
Like all the vending machines.
Are you? If the bag, like, and I said if the bag is, that's the okay. If the money right, then just maybe. But if you gonna be here, then I might be here. So it's up to. Oh, okay. All right. As long as you're gonna be here.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. I mean, it would have been.
Okay, I got people who fell over, or are they sitting? Okay, they sitting. They sitting on the floor. Okay.
Yeah, you know, he decided he wanted.
He's hanging off the building.
Just a nice outside.
Right.
To look at your outside. He's living like on the edge.
Yeah, literally.
And the coordination tasks needed for Revit, similar to that of an architectural office, in that they have one large coordinated Revit model for which all
privacy concerns, because you have people who, you don't know their intentions, but they're kind of being able to look into or even access the rear of people's properties. So kind of like, sometimes it is okay to have hard lines between one usage and the other. You end up losing something. Some folks, I think, may have done it well, some folks may not have, but it is okay to make people walk on the sidewalk. And realistically, in terms of like urbanity,
See the that's nice. People can go up. So that's interesting.
I mean, maybe you could sell the sky bridge if you have that rendering up on
About that. Yeah. Everything. It was really good. I learned a lot. I was grateful that I was able to, learn from the things that I was teaching. I had to do some research myself. And so, the first time that I had to do a lecture on the different type of typography and homes and all that, I was like, oh my gosh, I was super nervous. But, I had to get through that. Like, I think that was probably my favorite part, was the different personalities, the different students, getting to know everybody, and like really just thinking of how I'm going to run the classroom. So we're going to see what happens next semester. I'm teaching like the follow-up course to this course. So I'm really excited to see like what next semester is going to bring, and if it's going to be a lot different, if it's going to be more challenging. But I think it's going to be good, because now I've gotten like sort of a rhythm, got my feet wet. And so I'm looking forward to next semester. All right. So architecture at a HBCU, made it through my first semester. Super grateful. Loved all my students. And we're going to see what next semester holds.